and welcome to a friendly conversation at the Crown Plaza Hotel in San Salvador. This is going to be part of El Salvador Positive News. I'm going to be inviting different personalities of all walks of life for them to be here with us and tell the stories they have to tell and so many other things about their life, work, etc. And it's going to be, as I said, friendly conversation. It's going to be immediately after our El Salvador Positive News section. We will be having a fantastic conversation with different personalities. So I'll be seeing you then. And here we are at a friendly conversation at the Crown Plaza. It is really a privilege to have my guest today because what you're about to see is something historical. Can you imagine? We have immigration right now from El Salvador to the rest of the world. But it was 1951 when a young fellow, a young man in Torino, Italy, was thinking of leaving his beautiful Italy and try to find a best place, a better place here in Latin America. And he came to El Salvador. Isn't that beautiful? And he was charmed by the beauty of our country and its people. And now, who is here with me? Well, here it is. Eduardo Carbone, the son of that young man who in 1951 left his beloved Italy. And Eduardo Carbone, his son, is still living among us. Welcome, dear Eduardo. How are you?
Thank you very much, and congratulations for this wonderful program you have.
Thank you so much. I think it's really needed, right?
Right.
We
Immigration is a big issue.
And not only that, we have to give good news about our lovely country, El Salvador.
That's right.
Okay, so what we're going to have here is a beautiful story about your father and your mother coming here into El Salvador. Let's begin with this. I understand that Don Vito Carbone, like it was his name, he was coming from Torino, right? And it was 1951. You continue with the story.
That's right. He took a ship in Genova, in northern Italy, and for 1 month he was traveling, first crossing the Atlantic Ocean, then going through the Panama Canal, and reaching El Salvador. He chose this country because his cousin Gino Tiraboski lived here.
Oh, he already have a relative.
He was living here 4 years earlier than when my father came.
I see.
So that was the reason why my father chose El Salvador.
Oh, that's interesting.
To immigrate.
I shouldn't ask this because I think I can tell the reasons why he was trying to move to another country.
The main reason was that he lived the Second World War in Torino, in northern Italy, which was a city much bombed by the Allies. So he suffered the bombing, he suffered the scarcity of food and all the hardship of the Second World War.
Of what is a war.
Exactly. And Italy, being one of the losing nations in World War II, was a disaster when the Second World War.
So those were like the reasons why he decided to move. And something else interesting that he was telling me, his father, it was a whole month during the trip, right? The travel of 1 month.
A month-long trip by ship.
By ship. Can you imagine? Well, those days, right? So he decided to stay in El Salvador.
Yes, like I said, my uncle Gino Tiraboski was living here for 4 years earlier than my father came. And my father was a civil engineer.
Oh, he was a civil engineer.
Yes, and his first job was working for CEL, the hydroelectric national administration
here
in El Salvador.
But wait a minute, your father was already married or he was single?
Yeah, he married my mother 1 year before he came to El Salvador.
So that was 1950?
They were married in 1950 in Torino.
Okay.
Yeah. So he came in 1951 and my mother came 1 year later. Later she moved from Italy to El Salvador.
So, okay, I can imagine what would be from a country as beautiful as Italy, and of course our beautiful country, but it's a natural beauty. It's a natural beauty.
Exactly.
different with the beauty that we can feel or see in Italy, right?
Exactly, yeah. Especially my mother, when she came here, she was enchanted with the weather, the tropical weather.
Really?
Because in northern Italy, where Torino is, where she was, my father and my mother were born in a small town about 55 kilometers from Torino, and the winter is very harsh.
You remember the name of the
Priocca.
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 And it must be cold as hell, I imagine.
In winter, it's very cold. I have never been there in winter,
Oh, really?
but my parents told me how harsh the winter was. So my mother she loved the
It
climate,
was,
the
love
weather
at-
here,
love at first
the
sight,
tropical
right?
weather in El Salvador.
You know, you just mentioned something that I was about to tell you, but it's going to be in our next segment, which is, have you been there and have you seen other relatives? But let's don't go so fast. So they moved in here, and as being a civil engineer, he started working for Shell.
He worked for Shell, and this is an interesting fact. His first salary was 1,000 colones.
1,000.
At that time, 1951, it was a huge salary.
Oh my
You-
goodness. So he became rich from
Yeah, his
one moment
first
to another.
wage. I mean, it was a big economic welcome for my father in El Salvador.
Absolutely, but you have to remember he was Italian and he was an engineer, so he deserved it. And in those days, it may be what, maybe $5,000 or $10,000?
Yes. But in today's money, it's about $5,000 US dollars,
Which is
the equivalent.
something impressive, right?
Yes, for being a newcomer in El Salvador, yeah, it was a huge wage.
And then it came this beautiful surprise of the two sons. It's you and your brother, right?
My brother Roberto, older than I, and myself, Eduardo.
Well, I don't like to ask the ages of people, but what year were Roberto born?
Roberto was born in 1953, 1 year later than my mother came to El Salvador, and I was born in 1964.
Have you did ever your mother told you about the experiences of having children here? How hard it was, or was easy, or how was it?
It was easier because here she had the advantage of domestic help.
Oh, I see.
Like somebody who took care of my brother or took care of
Even
me.
you, right?
Right. Which was something that in Italy she wouldn't have that advantage.
Which makes a big difference.
Oh, definitely.
And I understand, let's say, we're talking about 1955, there were larger hospitals here or something like that.
Yeah, my brother and I were born at Hospital Policlínica Salvadoreña,
Oh, I remember.
which is now Hospital Pro Familia.
Yeah, that's correct.
Here in San Salvador.
That's correct. Oh, I see. Okay, so then you were born as a Salvadorian, of course.
Yes.
You were Salvadorian.
Yes, I'm Salvadorian by birth.
By birth. And also your brother, Salvadorian by birth.
Exactly.
Tell me something. Is it possible to have both with Italy and El Salvador? I guess yes, right?
Nowadays, yes. But when I was born, my father was no longer an Italian citizen because when he acquired the Salvadorian citizenship, he was forced to resign to his Italian
Now,
citizenship.
Wait a minute. Why was it he forced to resign? Because he wanted to be a Salvadorian?
He wanted to obtain the Salvadorian citizenship.
To make
and at that
everything
time,
to make things easier.
and the law in El Salvador forbid double citizenship. So in order for my father to become a citizen of El Salvador, he had to resign, and he did, to his Italian citizenship.
Oh, that must have been a real hard moment for him, right?
Not much, because he was well adjusted. He
And
was happy in
and
El
he was
Salvador.
a practical man, right?
Exactly.
What about your mom? Was he the same?
My
She had
mother,
to
to this day, she's 96 years old.
Oh,
She's still an Italian citizen.
I
She never acquired the Salvadorian
that's
citizenship.
right. Because then she didn't need to do that because the only one who needed was your dad, right?
Exactly.
What about you and your brother? With the time going on, you were able to get both nationalities, right?
Yes, both of us obtained Italian citizenship. So now we have double citizenship. And my brother's sons have double citizenship, and so my daughter and my two sons. Italian and Salvadorian.
Both children, and the boys and the girls.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
it's the most practical thing.
Oh,
right?
yes, definitely.
That's
And
nice.
both Italy and El Salvador today allow it,
Okay.
double citizenship.
And now that you mentioned both nationalities, Salvadorian and Italian, I guess that with the European community, definitely is something very useful for anyone with a European nationality. Is that
Oh,
so?
definitely. For traveling purposes, for studying in the future, if my two sons and my daughter decide to study in any nation of the European community, they don't want to have
Any problem.
any immigration or status problem.
And not only that, I just recently came back from Europe, and I noticed that in whatever country, if you are a European, you can be able to get a sponsorship, scholarship, or any kind of help.
Exactly, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
It's a big advantage.
That's wonderful. Now, now that we're going to be talking about the details about your life, which is the other part that I would really be interested in, is have you ever been into those places where your father used to live?
Yes, I have been in Prioca, the town
small
where
town.
my parents were born. I have been there about 7 times.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes, I have never lived in Italy. I was born in El Salvador. I have lived here all my life except 4.5 years, when I was in Texas studying at university level. So I have visited Italy several
And you
times.
said maybe 7 times. Were you able to find your relatives there?
Yes.
I think that
Yes.
must have been a real
Yes.
special moment, right?
Yes, most of my relatives live in Italy, except my uncle Gino Tiraboschi's family, who lived here in El
They
Salvador.
still live here.
They
which
still
is
live
the
here.
brother who started the immigration to El Salvador, right?
My uncle.
Oh, your uncle.
Yeah, my uncle.
So the family still live
They
here.
are still here in El Salvador. Yes.
So I imagine that the first time you met all those relatives, it was really was very moving moment, right?
Oh, definitely. Cousins, uncles.
It's a big
My
family.
grandmother.
Oh, she was still alive.
My
when-
mother's mother.
I see. She
Yeah.
was still alive when you
She was
visited.
still alive.
Oh my goodness, that's a treasure, right?
And she was in El Salvador twice.
Oh, she visited
Yeah,
us.
she visited
oh, my
us
goodness.
twice.
So you've been all over the place. That's really beautiful. And as you said, you know, they fell in love with our weather. You know something, Eduardo? Many times, people who, when we live here, we tend to forget that which is, it's a miracle. It's a gift of nature to have this type of weather.
Yes, definitely. Many years ago, someone told me, El Salvador es la tierra del Señor. El Salvador is God's land, or the
that's-
Lord's land.
That's really impressive. That's really impressive. And I don't have a doubt. And that's why we are promoting with El Salvador Positive News. As you know, this conversation, this interview is part of what is going to be El Salvador Positive News. And we are going to be in Channel 8, Mondays from 5 to 6, and Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. And we will also have our YouTube channel, and I'm inviting you to be part of it. Okay?
Thank you. I'm honored. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, you know, I've been enjoying this wonderful conversation, and I'm sure you will also enjoy this conversation. We still have many things to ask Eduardo Carbone, who is here with us. And don't go now. We'll soon be back with you. Have a good one now.